Welcome to another episode of Voice Your Vichar and Goan Vichar. So today we are in a constituency which is Nuvem, and we are seated with a very senior leader of the Congress party. To thick and thin, he stuck to the party and he is with the party even today. It is Mr. Aleixo Sequeira, and he is with us today to talk to us on this interview on Voice Your Vichar. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Straight off, starting with the question that in 2012, that you lost to Mickey Pacheco, and after that in 2017, Wilfred Disa was given the ticket, and you wholeheartedly supported him. You didn't deviate from the party. Okay. Right now, after 10 years of this break that you had, how confident are you to make it to the assembly?
I think this is a constituency where there are a lot of Congress well-wishers. I also have behind me the development work I have undertaken by virtue of, during the period when I was an MLA and minister. So with these two factors, that is my strength, and I'm confident that I will win this election. And so I don't have a lot of tension on my head.
Okay. So very relaxed about the whole situation.
I guess so. I can't definitely take it for granted, but I believe I'm through.
Okay. Having said that, in 2017, during those elections when Wilfred Disa was given the ticket, you supported him, right? At that point of time?
I supported the Congress party.
Congress party, yeah. And
in fact, if I may tell you, when I was denied the ticket, I was denied the ticket on the grounds of the party wanting a new face, or the people wanting a new face. And I had many of my friends, many of my well-wishers who came to me and said, stand for election, stand as an independent, we will ensure your victory.
Yeah.
And I was very clear in my mind that I would not go against the party, because I was convinced, and I am convinced, the only party that will work for the people of Goa is the Indian National Congress. I don't think I'm wrong in saying that the only party that will work for the interest of we Indians is the Indian National Congress.
Okay.
And that is why I refuse to stand as an independent. Yes, I was denied the ticket. Yes, this being a Congress constituency, Wilfred Disa, alias Baba Shah as he is known in the constituency, won the election. But in 2.5 years, he betrayed the mandate of the people. He defected to BJP along with others. And it is at that point that the party called upon me. To be more specific, Mr. Girish Chodankar, our present president of Goa Pradesh Congress. Before him, late Shantaram Naik, who was also the PCC president at that time. He approached me. He told me, why are you not getting up? Come back. Let's work together. We require you. And that is the time when I decided, if the party wants me, I should activate
but
myself.
This is more about the party reaching out to you and telling you that, okay, after he defected. But what happened?
No, Shantaram was prior to defection too.
Okay, but apart from that, what exactly happened to your mood at that point of time? Because
when I lost the election, I was definitely dejected.
But more specifically, when Baba Shah left the party because of whom you didn't get a ticket and he defected, what happened to you? How was your feeling at that point of time?
I was very happy because the party said new face. The party said they denied me the ticket.
Okay.
And then I believe the party learned its lesson. The party erred in selecting its candidate. The party is good. Let me repeat, Indian National Congress is a good party. Party erred in selection of candidates.
Okay. Mr. Sequeira, what is happening right now is a lot of people have the perception in 2002, when Sardin became the chief minister, people feel that Aleixo Sequeira also joined Sardin and it was all done by Parrikar and you were supported by Parrikar at that point of time and you defected from the
No, we didn't defect. We basically, I will explain to you. We had differences within the party.
Okay.
We had differences with the leadership. And that is why we formed a pressure group which sought from the party changes in the government which were not forthcoming. Trust me, you may not believe what I'm going to say, but at that time in charge of Goa was Mr. Ramesh Chennitala. And within 24 hours, we were all set to come back. Somebody has gone and conveyed some ridiculous demands to the High Command, which were never made by us. And within 24 hours, the whole scenario changed. But there is a perception that I joined the BJP.
Yes, that's what I wanted to clear from you.
I have never joined the BJP party. Never. And I will not join the BJP party. I am making a commitment to the voters of Nuvem constituency today that should I win, upon becoming their representative in the Legislative Assembly, I will never leave the Indian National Congress Party.
Now, this is a commitment that we have made.
This is a commitment and I am very clear in my mind that I will not do it.
Okay. Having said that, another very important or pressing issue, or rather a very soothing issue, is when you were in power, a lot of people in the constituency got jobs, government jobs. But there is a section of people from among these people who got the job but they were not confirmed. And a lot of those voices can be heard at this point of time. What do you have to say about that?
This is very simple. During my tenure, I have put around 1,200 youth, male and female, in various government jobs. I have put the wrong way of saying, because they were selected on merit.
Okay.
Having been selected, to be more specific, you are referring to the power department.
Correct.
Where there are boys who were made permanent and there were boys who were taken on contract. I agree that till today there are boys who are on contract. I think they were misguided. They were told that the appointment letters given by me were bogus.
Okay.
And there definitely was no intention to cheat them. Having no intention to cheat them, no bogus letter was issued to them. They were given letters which were genuine.
Okay.
Now, if we had to give them bogus letters, you tell me, how is it that till today, I'm not an MLA for the last 10 years, how is it that till today, these boys are getting their monthly salary? If the letters were bogus, I'm sure the day I was not in the chair, they would have been sent home. 10 years I'm not there. Some of the boys have completed 12 years, 13 years, still on contract. But they're getting their salary. So they were misguided by my successors.
Okay.
That if I'm elected, I will ensure that they are made permanent within a period of 4 to 5 months. This is a commitment I'm giving.
So that was a propaganda that was being played, that was happening right now on social media, that certain section of the people that were supposed to be permanent they were not permanent, but there were some technicalities.
No, it is not a question of technicalities. I'll give you another example. You see, when after this happened, we decided that we should go to court.
Okay.
There was a gentleman who came forward and offered to pay the fees of a lawyer.
Okay.
A lawyer was appointed, and if you want me to fight your case tomorrow in the court, you have to give me a vaklatnama. That is the first thing you have to give your advocate. Only 14 youth, or 14 of those boys signed that vaklatnama. As such, the case was filed on behalf of those 14.
Okay.
And those 14 within 15 days were made permanent.
Okay.
The others hesitated. The others, listening to my successors, did not sign the vaklatnama. This is number one.
Okay.
I was defeated by Miki Pacheco. You tell me, why are those boys still on contract? What has he done as an MLA to 5 years he was in power? What has he done to make them permanent? Babashan, 5 years he's been in the chair. Even worse, of the 5 years, 2.5 years he's been in ruling. What has he done? Why has he not fought and ensured that these boys are made permanent? I think the Lord wants me to come back to accomplish or to fulfill the wishes of those boys.
Yeah, so now because these boys and many other people
No,
are
I'll
there.
tell you. You see, at one point of time, their earlier MLA, Babashan, told them that Aleixo Sequeira has suppressed your case in the High Court. That is why the case, there are cases pending in the High Court. That is why your case is not coming up. Then what? He made them change the lawyer. They changed the lawyer. Still nothing has happened. Then he took them to the Chief Minister. I'm told the Chief Minister assured that in a couple of days he would settle the matter. Nothing has happened. Then he tells them, we will have a meeting within the two lawyers. So the government lawyer or the AG sat, their lawyers, their new lawyers sat, and it was decided that they would settle it in court. Till date, nothing.
Okay, so but when you come in power,
I'm giving a firm commitment that I will ensure that they are confirmed. You see, it is very unjust. Those boys have been working for 12, 13 years in the power department.
yeah,
People who have been selected have joined the department much after them. I believe it was the duty of this government to have confirmed those boys. And remember, you're not doing them a favor. Because I believe that they know the setup, they're trained over a period of time. They are an asset to government of Goa.
okay. So they have to be confirmed.
I believe so. In all fairness, they have to be confirmed. You see, you spend your youth in the department and now put you on the road. Is it correct? There are people who have who have touched the age of 50. At 50, where are they going to get a job?
So it's more of a compulsion rather than anything else right now because they have spent a considerate amount of time in the department.
I don't think it's a compulsion, but I believe they are trained and therefore they know the setup, they know the system, and they are an asset to the department. Just because they are on contract, let us not believe that they are a liability. The government is doing no favor.
Okay, having said that, next thing is when you were the power minister, right now we see that the power ministry is on its toes because of various issues like the Tamnar project and all other things. But during your tenure, what innovations or what convenience did you bring to the department that catered to the department to be more smooth in today's days?
I've done a lot of things, boss. I've done a lot of things. Why do I say that? For example, in Lotoli constituency, the erstwhile Lotoli constituency, I brought in the underground cable system, or the underground cable facility, wherein we have taken that cable right to your doorstep. You didn't have to pay anything, the government paid for it. During my tenure, prior to me, part of Margaon was enjoying this underground facility.
Okay.
But there was a part that remained. We completed Margaon and Fatorda. Part of Panjim was done. We completed the balance part. So this is one very important thing. In fact, wherever you go today, the demand of the people is underground cable facility. And I think the value of this underground cable facility was really appreciated during the recent typhoon we had, the cyclone that we had in Goa. There were areas that were in darkness for days together, 7-8 days. But I'm proud to say that people from erstwhile Lotoli constituency had light by around 10-11 in the night.
It's all because of the underground
It's all
cable.
because of the underground cable.
And this was done 10 years back.
This was done 10 years back, maybe 12 years back.
Okay.
And I know there were allegations made that it is substandard equipment, this, that. It's very easy to talk. But it stood, it's there firm last 10, 12 years.
Another thing is, when you spoke about this underground cabling, there are other villages in your constituency as well. Why are they not getting these facilities?
You see, you are right and you are wrong. When I was minister of Lotoli constituency. But during my tenure, I ensured that the high tension line to the villages of Majorda, Kalata, Uttorda and Betalbati were laid. The only thing remaining is the low tension line by which we would also take it to their houses.
Okay.
Otherwise, the high tension line has been laid already, connecting the substations.
On the same lines, we have seen that next to after Betalbati is Kolva, and that's a separate constituency altogether. But in Kolva, they have a sewage plant, and every house over there has been connected to the sewage line which has been taken over there. So they don't need the septic tanks anymore.
You are right and you are wrong.
Again, okay.
Because till date, the plant hasn't started.
But the connections have started. So
Connections is okay. You know, it reminds me of what happened in Margao. During the tenure, don't remember the MLA, but much before Digambar Kamath became the MLA of Margao, they had laid underground, your sewage lines. The lines had to be relayed.
Because of some substandard jobs?
Substandard jobs maybe, or the lines might have been laid so long ago.
So with time we have to change.
So you are not right in saying that people don't require septic tanks.
So
according to me, they still require.
So you mean to say that even if we have the sewage line?
No, I am talking of these areas.
These areas.
These areas.
Still, people will have to have a septic tank in their houses.
Boss, where is it going? Now you have said pipeline is laid. You tell me, is the plant running?
I'm not in the department, so I
am telling you it's not running.
Okay.
So if it's not running, that means they're surviving because of their septic tanks.
But along the way, once you move forward,
along the way, boss, it's not so simple. I believe that sewage treatment plant is a failure.
Okay. And why do you say so?
Because remember, it is surrounded by all hotels, including one that I own.
Yeah.
What have they planned and how have they planned to discharge the effluents of that plant? Kolva is supposed to be a famous beach. It's internationally known. You're going to leave sewage water there. Have they realized what they've done? You're going to kill the goose that lays that golden egg.
So is Kolva still famous? That's
100%.
another question that I want to ask.
Kolva
you.
is.
Because many people that I meet personally, they say, what else is there apart from Kolva? Because they don't want to go to Kolva anymore.
No, there is. I've got a hotel there. We're full.
Okay.
People are coming to Kolva.
Yeah. Another thing, Mr. Sequeira, is the youth. We are a youth-centric channel. Mostly want a politician or a leader to speak about the youth. Having a constituency like Nuvem, and I have a lot of youth over there, and they are in various fields. What are your plans for their upliftment? Maybe skillful upliftment and various other things.
You see, per se, I am not an educationist. I am an entrepreneur or an industrialist. You can call me whatever is the suitable title. The truth is that today we are producing graduates. These graduates, unfortunately, if I may say, are stuck because there are no job opportunities. The need of the hour, according to me, is specialization. And specialization, when I say, I don't mean even high studies or something like that. Simple thing, like a carpenter, a plumber, a mason, simple crafts or trades. Okay. There is so much demand. Today, to get a carpenter, we have to scratch our heads. To get a plumber, we have to scratch our heads to search for one. And they earn well, believe me, they're not earning anything less. So I believe we have to upgrade, we have to change our education system.
Okay.
We have in Verna a beautiful industrial estate. It is primarily a pharmaceutical hub. If you go around there today, 90% of the staff are from outside Goa. I'm sure if we are in a position to produce qualified pharmacists, people who are suitable to meet the needs of
To do B farm and M farm and all those things.
the pharmaceutical industry, they would definitely prefer locals. Because I am told that there are a lot of people, I mean, who are finding it difficult because the family is in their native place, they are here, so they're simultaneously having to maintain two homes. So I'm sure they would prefer the locals.
Yeah. Having said that, you said they will prefer the locals and you have plans for the locals over here. In the same line, before I move to the other part of it, there's a lot of big problem of brain drain that is happening in these areas.
No, see, I'll put it this way. As far as brain drain is concerned, we have to arrest it. It is a must. In fact, this trend of migration to Europe, people moving out, is primarily because we have failed in providing employment. So we have to make an effort, and that will be one of my endeavors, that we have to make an effort to ensure that we provide decent employment to our youth. And when I was a minister, for example, through my portfolios, we have employed something like around 3,000 people.
Okay.
From all over Goa. And trust me, I have not taken a naya paise from anybody. In fact, one day I read a banner in front of my house, put up by Aam Aadmi Party, which said, 100% jobs for Goan youth. Pay bribe and get a job. I had a press conference in Margao, and I threw a challenge. If there was anyone who would come forward and say that they'd given me a bribe, I promised I would not stand for this election. Till date, nobody came. And I'm confident nobody will come. Now you may ask me why. You see, I believe that the youth, or the boy who's being employed, invariably come, not invariably, I would say 100% come from middle income families or lower. Lower, economically backward families. And because I demand a bribe, he goes and takes a loan. Banks will not finance you. So he takes a private loan. And what is the rate of interest you're paying for a private loan? 3%, 4%, at times even 10% per month. So the day he sits on that chair, all he has in mind is how is he going to repay that loan.
Okay.
And I, as the leader, I believe if I am to ensure or to try to ensure that our officers, our staff are clean, I have to set the example.
Having said that, when you pay a bribe to get a job, the officer sitting on the chair automatically has to recover that money.
That is exactly what I'm saying. So from day one, his only head is how is he going to repay that loan. So what do? Every file, every paper that comes to you, don't move it until he has given you something.
So this is a blockage for the system.
This is, I don't know, I can't explain. But I can tell you one thing, my word of honor, nobody will ever accuse me of having taken this.
Okay. Coming back on the youth, we just deviated a little bit. One aspect is
I would also like to assure you that it will be my endeavor, and I will do it, as I've done in the past, to ensure that I see that our youth of Nuvem constituency get employment.
Okay. Having said that, again, other areas apart from employment, people have passion for music, say sports, various other things. What is your plan for them?
See, I will tell you as far as sports is concerned. As far as sports is concerned, I have done sports grounds, I've done football grounds in most of the villages that I represented. Why do I say most? I think in all the villages that I represented, except for the village of Nuvem.
Okay. Why is that so?
There was a demand from the locals to develop a football ground.
Okay.
But you demanded a ground in this place, he demanded a ground in that place, somebody else demanded a ground in the third place, and there was a conflict of places. So I thought it wise to keep the responsibility of identifying the place on the village panchayat. It is sad that the very MLA who was elected in my place, Babashan Desa, when he was a panchayat member, he identified a particular area which I was not aware about. At that time, late Matani Saldana was the sports minister.
Okay.
And Matani Saldana was sports minister in the BJP government. I went for a football match, and there, to my utter surprise, I was criticized at the match for suppressing the file pertaining to the football ground. So yes, when I spoke, I did tell the people that I have suppressed nothing. To my utter surprise, I am hearing for the first time that a place has been identified.
Okay.
So I then put in gear, started moving with the file, started moving for land acquisition, for the land acquisition of the land, of the place. And unfortunately, I don't know what went wrong. But the very man who proposed the place, the very man who identified the place and proposed it at the panchayat, started a movement against it.
Okay.
And by then, my tenure was over. As I said, after me, Miki Pacheco was made a minister. If I'm not mistaken, he might have also been the sports minister. I'm not sure about what I'm saying, but because Miki has held that portfolio. Nothing happened. 5 years have gone under Wilfred Desa. Nothing has happened. But it will be my endeavor. And endeavor is a way of saying I will 100% develop an international size football ground for the villages of Nuvem during this new tenure if I'm elected.
Okay.
I will 100% develop a ground.
No.
It is painful for me to tell you that in the village of Lotoli, I had developed a ground. But today, if you look at it, it is in a pathetic condition. In the village of Lotoli, I had built an indoor sports hall.
Okay.
The thing is crumbling down. No maintenance. So I will definitely undertake
These projects and
the redevelopment of
sports infrastructure.
Including in the village of Majorda. I've seen the famous Masoni ground. The ground is in a pathetic condition. And coming to Nuvem in particular, it is painful because the village of Nuvem is known all over the country to generate good quality football players.
And they don't have a ground.
And they don't have a ground.
Okay. On the same lines, Mr. Sequeira, I also want to know that today's generation, they want to be out there in politics. And there are various allegations that are made recently that you are not even able to go to a particular place, and old wine in the old bottle. What do you want to say about that?
Well, I think I don't blame these people. They have not been able to find anything against me. So they've started about this. I remember when I stood for my elections in 2012, there were astrologers. My opponents had suddenly become astrologers. And they told the people that Aleixo Sequeira's right leg is going to be amputated within 2 months. They went a step further and announced that Aleixo Sequeira was going to die of cancer within 2 years. Unfortunately, I am fighting such people. So now they have started that I cannot walk. The fact is, I admit I have not gone to each and every house in the constituency because time is less. I was afflicted with COVID in the later half of December.
Okay.
So I started late. And because I started late, I have not been able to cover each and every house.
Okay.
But my children have been doing it on my behalf. The fact that I was able to walk and come here for your interview still tells you I can walk.
Yes.
The fact that I've gone, there are snippets or whatever is the appropriate word, showing me walking, going house to house campaigning. And the last thing is, I would like to remind these guys, someday they would also be attaining my age.
Yeah.
And I'd like to hear people telling them, you're old, you can't walk.
But on this note, don't you think the political game is stooping low with all these allegations? They're not professionally, politically linked, but personal attacks.
Of course, it depends on who you are, what you are. And I'm repeating, they've gone to this level because they can't find anything against me. Come out with some wrongdoing of mine when I was a minister. Speak out, highlight.
So you want it to be highlighted?
No,
but
I don't
nothing is
want it.
there.
I'm telling you, they have find nothing.
On the same line, we'll go to the next question very quickly. There are so many candidates right now in Nuvem constituency and rest of Goa as well. So many parties coming in. Why is Mr. Aleixo Sequeira the most favorable candidate? Why should people vote for you?
People are supporting me because, as I told you, number one, they're sure I won't leave the Congress party. I will stand by the party. Number two, my past is there. What I've done, development I've done during my constituency. Your Wilfred Dessa has gone to BJP. And what does he say? He tells the people I went to BJP to develop my constituency. You tell me what development work has been done in your village. Has anything been done?
As a media person, I won't want to answer that because I have to be neutral in my
No,
approach.
you have to be neutral.
Yeah.
But ask anybody, what has been done? Just putting a little tar on the road is not development. Trust me, 99% of these roads have been done much before his tenure. I don't know, I'm giving him benefit of doubt by saying 99%. I will confess, most of the roads in Lotoli constituency were done prior to me becoming an MLA. I've only maintained the roads. And what he did by putting tar is only maintenance. It's not development. Roads in Lotoli constituency, I'm sure, might have been done during the tenure of late Dr. Prod Barbosa or late Mr. Florian Machado, late Rock Barnett. But you can't call it infrastructure. What do you call that development?
So maintenance of the things.
It is only maintenance of government property.
Okay. On the same lines, we recently saw, maybe yesterday or day before, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra was in Goa and she came to this constituency. Did that give a boost for your campaign as a Congress
100%.
person?
You see, I'll tell you, I myself was surprised to see the response to her visit.
Yeah.
She visited the village of Betalbati. She visited the village of Majorda. And she visited the village of Nuvem. Wherever she went, there were hundreds of people to welcome her.
Okay.
There were hundreds of people who attended her meetings. I definitely feel that has given a boost to the campaign.
Okay.
And that speaks of the respect the Gandhi family enjoys in the state of Goa.
Okay. And another thing in the same lines would be that, talking about the constituency, the Nuvem constituency, you have beaches in two villages. There's a coastline. Then you come inside to the hinterland and come to Verna, you have the industrial estate. And you go to Lotulim, there are forests and mountains and all those things over there. And in this whole stretch, it's like an L-shaped stretch which is there. There are farmers, there are people who work in the industrial estate. There are various issues that come up over there. Specifically for farmers, what is the plan for the farmers?
See, during my tenure, I'm proud to say that under various schemes, or with the assistance of various people, I used to distribute to the farmers seeds, fertilizers. I used to plow the fields. I used to harvest the paddy crop.
Okay.
And never did I charge anything. Never did I collect anything. It was given to the farmers to encourage them to sow their fields.
Okay.
I have encouraged, you see, Verna, Majorda, part of Nuvem. These are villages that are known for watermelons. And I worked with them. We suddenly realized that the size of the watermelon was shrinking. So, with the assistance of the agriculture department, we studied we identified what was the problem. And upon identifying what was the problem, we brought in fresh seeds. We brought in seeds that were suitable to our climate. And till today, the people are enjoying the fruits of that study of us.
So the farmer community in this constituency is very happy with what was done back then to help them out.
100%. The farmer, I must admit that post that, Wilfred Desa has also continued with this effort. But the fact is, he is collecting the Form 114 from the farmers.
Okay.
The government has a scheme by which the farmer is entitled to get subsidy.
Okay.
Where that subsidy money is going, I don't know. But because the farmers say they don't receive it.
What is your goal for this constituency?
My goal for this constituency is multi-pronged. Why do I say multi-pronged? First priority of mine will be employment. But wherever I have gone, the only demand is really employment. My second goal would be to encourage the farmers. As every day passes, there are new technologies, new systems coming. It will be my endeavor to make sure that all this is brought to the door of the farmer. So this will be my second thing. My third thing is, you see, I believe for a child, when he goes to school, he also requires an appropriate atmosphere, which to some extent I think is lacking.
Okay.
So I would like to assist the school managers, the school managements, to try and improve the existing setup. I would also like, and I will take up with the government, to make our education system more industry friendly. Just generation of graduates, trust me, is not the solution. There are so many of them who are unemployed. Or we have to bring industry that is suitable to those graduates, which I think we have failed.
So this is your goal for this tenure that you...
Third.
Another one, okay.
Yeah. You see, COVID has been an eye-opener to all of us.
Yeah.
So I definitely would like to try and get our health system within the constituency upgraded. And you may not be aware, whatever the BJP may say, the fact remains that South Goa District Hospital the construction was commenced by the Indian National Congress government at that time under the leadership of Digambar Kamath.
Okay.
For reasons best known to the BJP government, that construction came to a halt.
Okay.
Thereafter, they restarted the work. But for reasons again best known to them, they were not willing to start that hospital.
Okay.
It is we who demanded, the Congress party demanded, and forced them to open the hospital, and that is why we could use it during the COVID crisis. Okay. Having said that, I would definitely try to upgrade the health centers, the
health infrastructure.
The health infrastructure by and large within the constituency.
Okay. And usually, Mr. Sequeira, we It's a youth-centric channel. I want you to give a message to the youth about joining politics, being an active part of politics, and definitely coming and voting.
You see, I will tell you my own story.
Yeah.
I entered politics and did not enter politics right from the year 1974.
Okay.
In 74, I joined the Indian National Youth Congress. I've held various positions in the Youth Congress and ultimately rose to be Goa Pradesh Youth Congress, the president of Goa Pradesh Youth Congress committee. I have held various positions in the parent body. I was in the district, I was first in the block. Block is basically the body of a, I don't think I was initially the block president. I was much lower down. Through the years, I have grown up. Through the years, I became district president. I became treasurer of the PCC. Today I am the working president of Goa Pradesh Congress Committee. So, from 74, I have been in and out in various positions. And I am today wherever I am. I definitely must admit, only because of the Indian National Congress. Now, you may tell me from 74 to 2022, it's a long time. It has been a long ride. I also know that when you're getting out of college, you are many a times frustrated with the setup. I thought, why are they doing this way? We can do it this way. If I have to admit, having become an MLA, having sat on the chair, I realized that many of the things I thought had to be done and many of the things I thought were very easy to be done weren't as easy as I thought.
But having said that, all these things were something that you did as in your youthful.
So I'm trying to tell you, I'm an example.
Okay.
Don't get frustrated. You can't reach there overnight.
I think the levels of frustration in today's generation will be much more than at your point of time back then.
No, I agree with you. I would put it this way, The major reason for frustration is basically unemployment. Another reason that is very frustrating is all this talk of corruption. It's very painful. You are a qualified engineer. The papers was talking about people having had to pay 30 lakhs, 20 lakhs. But where does that money come from? What is the use of your certificate if you have to pay for a goddamn job? That means that certificate has no value. Your education has no value. Isn't it frustrating? That is why I believe our youth are frustrated. That is why I believe our youth see Europe as their only hope.
Okay. Mr. Sequeira, another very pressing issue that comes up right now in many situations, and especially to Goans, it's more peculiar because everybody gets a Portuguese passport right now. But there are various statements that are coming out saying that you have a Portuguese passport, you hold properties abroad, okay, and various things like that. So, what do you have to say about that?
I have no Portuguese passport. I have never had a Portuguese passport. So, that is issue number one. Issue number two, as you rightly said, it is being said I have property in Portugal. I am requesting everyone to identify my properties in Portugal. And I promise I will give them to the man who identifies them because I have no property. Point number one. Regarding properties, I must tell you that I have properties in the village of Raya.
Okay.
Or let me say I have properties in Salset Taluka. And I have property in Shikali.
Okay.
I have no property beyond Zuari River. As far as my siblings are concerned, I am willing to go to the extent of saying that none of my siblings own any property beyond Mandovi Beach. And on behalf of my family, again, I extend an offer to anybody who can identify land in my name or my siblings' name. I'm now going with my siblings' name, including them, beyond Mandovi Bridge. I will ensure that that property is gifted to the man who identifies the same.
Okay.
I know when I say Zwari Mandovi Bridge, it is because I have a sister married in Panji. So she has a flat in Panji. So I can't help, I can't stop people talking.
Okay.
As I told you earlier, they have nothing to find against me, so they come out with all this.
Okay. In those same lines, there's another thing that is something that is linked to the Congress party, and that is people switching sides and going to the BJP. And from some areas or some information that we get, we got to know that you had a secret meeting with Amit Shah or something like that. Is it true? What is happening?
You see, this is nothing new. Earlier, it was alleged that I had a meeting at midnight with Mr. Fadnavis.
Okay.
At that time, I denied it. And I still deny it. I have never met Mr. Fadnavis in my life. Never. I know Mr. Fadnavis because he is the ex-chief minister of Maharashtra. But when I say I know him, I do not know him personally. I have never met him as chief minister of Maharashtra, but I have read about him in the newspapers.
Okay.
Coming to Mr. Amit Shah, I know that he's a union minister for home, government of India. I've never had the opportunity to meet him. I have been out of power for the last 10 years. So there is no situation that even wherein I had to go and meet him. I've never had such, there's been no occasion. And leave aside meeting him here.
Okay. So this is just...
This is all allegations. I can't stop people making allegations. You get up from the wrong side of the bed and you come up with something. There's recently been a WhatsApp message put. See the spellings. See the quality of the language. That itself tells you the character of the people who are indulging in all this rubbish.
Okay, so you clarify that all those things said or meetings of yours.
These are all consequential elections. This whole thing was an effort to block my ticket. This whole thing was an exercise to do that.
So, but if it was a effort to block your ticket, even after you getting the ticket, why those things are still on?
Still on because they have nothing else to do. I've asked them to identify my properties. They were asked by the press. Show us the papers. And what does that chap say? We have applied for them. We have sought these copies. If he knew what he was doing, he should have presented the papers there. Very easy to make allegations. And I'm happy he made the allegation. So I could clarify before the people.
Okay. So, usually towards the end, we have a small rapid fire that we do on this program for a bit difference. So, I'll take some names of some politicians and you have to give first thing that comes to your mind without explaining anything. Okay? Let's see what comes out of you.
It's a very tricky question.
Yeah. So, I'll straight away start off with Miki Pacheco.
Miki and I were both ministers in the same government.
Okay.
Today we are fighting elections against each other.
Okay.
So I can't comment.
Wilfred Desa.
I don't even know Wilfred Desa.
Okay. Utpal Parekar.
I have a lot of respect for his father. And I think his father built up the BJP in Goa. Personally speaking, I think he's been treated badly.
Okay. Reginaldo Lorenzo.
Reginald Lorenzo, if I may confess, is my relation. A good friend of mine. But I don't know how he was misguided and carried away.
Michael Lobo.
I have no contact with Michael Lobo. I've met him just twice in my life. I can't comment.
Okay. And last but not least, Vijay Sardesai.
Vijay is my friend.
Okay.
Vijay is a very controversial person. But I believe he means good for Goa. He has committed many a mistake. And I am sure he admits. I think all of us have
Flaws in our...
committed mistakes. over a period of time.
Okay. Having said that, I would like to thank Mr. Sequeira for joining us today.
I have to thank you for having invited me on your channel for this interview.
Yeah, and the short span of time that we met, you can see the surrounding as well. That he was in his door-to-door campaigns. He just rushed over here, had a small bite inside with the interview, and then he will go back again. So, a great effort
Thank you.
by you for the youngsters, definitely.
No, I genuinely believe, if I may conclude, youth are our future. They are an asset to the country. We have to assist them. We have to stand by them. And we have to ensure that whatever be their frustrations, we try and change the situation.
Okay.
And that will be my endeavor if elected in the government.
Okay. So, viewers will take that as our ending statement from Mr. Sequeira. And with that, I will thank all of you all and stay safe and keep watching Goan Vichar. Thank you.